Welcome to Behind the Lime, the Limelight SMP podcast. Taco?
Hold on, we gotta sleep first. We gotta have a full day's day.
Yeah, let's make this a morning show.
Yeah. All
Hey,
right.
welcome to the morning show, Behind the Lime with Taco and Chili. The only authorized Limelight SMP podcast.
Authentic.
Yeah, official.
Yeah.
The official,
No,
authentic.
the authorized. Yeah. Wait. Isn't authorized like licensed?
This is going so well.
So
Yeah.
good. So good. So, Taco, what are we doing here? Who are we? What is Limelight?
Well, we are a small group of adults, some of us in our teens, some of us all the way up into our 30s, that are working together, and pursuing our dreams of content creation.
So we decided to make a podcast, and we're trying to share a bit of the journey with other content creators or people who just generally are on teams of like-minded people, I guess. So this is the only podcast that I could find with my internet skills that goes behind the scenes of a content creator group in this way. So I could find a lot of people talking about content creation. I could find a lot of people talking about strategies, but I can't find any other group of content creators that is working together on their own individual projects together as a collaborative group.
But, Chili, why are we doing it now, though? And, we're all new at this. Why don't we wait until we get some experience under our belt?
That's part of the beauty. There's no one who does a podcast about being noobs at content creation. There's oh no, I'm gonna get killed. So whether or not we succeed and fail, we're gonna have documentation of what goes well and what doesn't. And either way, we're gonna be talking about what's working and what's not, and hopefully our audience can learn from our lessons, whether or not they succeed or fail. Also, this is just kind of a meta strategy of content creation at the same time. To make a podcast, it's just kind of a smart content creation move. So that's like the meta reason for it.
Sure.
And yeah, it's just fun to hang out with you guys and talk about what we do here.
Just chit chat.
Yep.
And go into kind of, what's behind some of the scenes, behind the scenes of, like you said, what goes into running something like this and maintaining something like this.
Definitely. And yeah, that's the thing. Oh my God. He broke the block out from under me.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, by the way, you can tell that we're this is our going to be the future podcasting studio right here, this ocean monument. So we're working on starting to build a perimeter and drain it out and get it built out. All right, so this is our pilot episode. What do we have on the docket for our pilot episode? What are we going to talk about?
Ourselves.
Today, actually.
There's one of the
topic.
Guardians gone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Omni. Generally, this is going to be Chili and myself, Taco, here, kind of your main hosts. And today, Omni is actually here as a special guest.
A specialist. The original
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be here until later on in the podcast.
No, you're here the whole time.
No, it's supposed to be like, hey, this is Behind the Lime, and you're here with Taco and Chili, your host, and our special guest, Omni, the founder of our server. that kind of thing. And you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think you just redid our intro.
Yes, I did.
Chili, how'd you get into Minecraft, and what made you want to be part of an SMP, specifically Limelight?
Getting into Minecraft, I am not really a gamer in general, but I have young kids, and I looked up what games would like be appropriate for them, or like just like not the I don't know, not like educational, but appropriate games for kids. And I landed on Minecraft being kind of a creative Lego style game. But my kid was too young to figure it out on his own. And so I learned the game to help him figure it out. And in that process, I got really caught up making like puzzle maps and quests for him in creative mode. And I had like all these castles with yeah, with like riddles and like, you go to one place and you find a key and open another door. I got so into it that I realized that I was more interested in it than my child. So I should probably find some other adults to play with. And then content creation kind of came differently. Like I've always been interested in creative hobbies. On my last server where I was the not admin. The last server that I was running.
Owner?
Yeah. I started a server of my own, and it was a storytelling server. So I was making content in a way, writing stories about like the lore of the server and what my character was up to. And then this kind of felt like a natural next step to share that content and storytelling with other people.
Sure. Kind of more of a vanilla-ish style.
We had a lot of mods actually. I started out being like kind of a purist and only wanting to play in a way that somebody with a vanilla client could participate. But by the end, we had like better nether, better end, lots of aesthetic additions.
Sure. Well, and I've never been much of a lore person myself, but I can see the benefit for I'm gonna get shot. I can see the benefit for lore purposes of having specifically those mods that you just named. It adds a lot of character and detail to the world.
Hmm.
Well, that's awesome.
How did you get into Minecraft?
So, actually, my siblings got into Minecraft in beta when it first came out, and there's a very large age gap between me and my siblings, and they said, you Taco, you got to check this out. You got to check this out. You'll like it. And I'm about 10 years older than them. I said, all right, I'll check it out. I was in about late teens, early 20s, somewhere in that area. I don't know. And I've always kind of had like a creative mentality. And I checked it out, and instantly I got hooked. I love like building and designing. I actually started going to post-secondary education for drafting, like drafting houses and things like that. So it's kind of been like right up my alley.
Yeah.
I just kind of like designing, decorating, things like that, and Minecraft is the perfect palette to do that in, And
Yeah.
And it's only getting better with the blocks that they keep adding.
That's true. Yeah,
But
see, better the mods just add more and more blocks.
sometimes
If you're too impatient to wait for updates.
exactly. Sometimes overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
But as far as content creation goes, I again, same as you, I've always kind of been interested in it, but never really. Two things: I never really had the hardware to make it happen, and two, I was never really comfortable enough with myself as a player to make it happen. I didn't think that, I guess I don't want to say that I didn't think I was good enough, but in a sense, it kind of was that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're watching seasoned content creators like in your time and then comparing yourself, then yeah, I can see how that would make you feel like you can't compete with them maybe.
Yeah. And that's what it was, I think, you know. So finally, I guess, you know, maybe a year ago, I took the leap and started just dabbling a little bit and doing small stuff, and I guess I never stopped. I've recently developed a love for the editing process, so that's gotten to be a lot of fun
Tell me
recently.
your secret.
I'll tell you, I used a very basic editing software prior to joining Limelight, and I
Mm.
didn't like it. I would record and record and record, and then when it came time to editing, I absolutely dreaded it and didn't want anything to do with editing and just
Mhm.
wished somebody else would do it for me.
Yeah.
And recently, actually, on suggestion from a lot of the members here on Limelight, they had suggested DaVinci Resolve, so I said, you know,
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot, and I tried it, and I just fell in love with it. There's so much you can do. You can really... Oh no, I fell. I fell. I fell. You can really make things,
I mean, that has overwhelming options.
yeah, yeah. So,
But yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty incredible.
right.
But that's been something that the community has been really, really helpful for. Like, I would have never stuck with trying to learn DaVinci Resolve if there hadn't been an entire group of people asking similar questions, or like people that I could just ask a really specific question to.
Yeah, and people that, you know, you're coming to like know on a personal level, you know. It's not like you're asking,
Yeah.
well, I mean, they started as strangers, but it's not like you're asking strangers on the
Yeah.
internet, you know.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're bugging somebody that you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we're all interested in the same thing.
Yeah,
We've all
definitely.
agreed to help each other.
Yeah, and I think that's what teamwork means, you know. We're all in it
Hmm.
together. How about you, Omni?
Omni, are you still with
Omni?
I'm gonna die. I was on mute. I'm trying not to die.
Ah,
us?
No, here, let me get over there by you guys. Sorry, what was the question? How'd I get
h-
started in Minecraft?
yeah, how'd you get started in
Yeah.
Minecraft?
So I've got a very similar story to Chili's, actually. My oldest son, when he was like 4, I think, asked for Minecraft for his birthday, and he played it for a little while, kind of got bored of it, picked it back up when he was like 6, I think, and he found a Mumbo Jumbo video and was trying to make one
Hmm.
of the, do a redstone tutorial. And because he was on an Xbox, what would later become the Bedrock version, and Mumbo was on Java, it didn't work.
Mm.
And he asked me to try to help him figure out why it didn't work. And I followed this tutorial block for block. I watched it 3 or 4 times, was very meticulous, and it still wouldn't work. And I was super frustrated. And I went down a rabbit hole of like trying to figure out why. And um, my background, I come from I work in the trades, so I do a lot with basic electrical circuits and things like that. And, just really fell in love with redstone. That's essentially what it
Mm.
was once I found out that this wasn't just like a digital Legos block building game, and you could
Yeah.
actually make contraptions that interact in the world and um, can do different things for you like that. I don't know. I just went down a rabbit hole, and um, same as Chili, eventually found out that I actually like this game way more than my kids did. uh, for the first 3 or 4 years, all I did was play in creative mode and build little mini games for my kids. So I would,
Yeah.
I'd be up at night after they'd gone to bed and be all excited about like coming up with a new maze that they could run the next morning when they wake up or something like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, just took it from there. And as far as content creation goes, I've always been a creative type. I've always liked to, paint and draw and play music and different things like that. And I don't know, this just seemed like an outlet where I could do two of my favorite things together. I really like
Mhm.
playing this game. I really like having a creative outlet, and so it's like best of both worlds.
Sure.
Definitely.
It's a very artistic thing. I think content creation, and I think in today's day and age, this is a great way to express your artistic talent is digitally in a um, you know, content creation type of manner, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, definitely. But kind of on top of that, our team is really, really, really diverse. So we've got people making all kinds of different content. It's not just like Minecraft per se. Like, got people doing streaming, we've got people like doing like literal like artwork, like drawing, like digital drawings and stuff of our characters and
Yeah,
getting into different stuff. So I see us expanding over time even
definitely.
and getting even more diverse.
And even the content that, the video Minecraft videos that we do make, they are all so different, like I kind of
Oh,
consider
totally.
myself more of a builder, whereas Omni just said that he's more of a redstoner and technical guy. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that specifically having that combination of people together, you can really do wonders.
Well, yeah, and I would have given up on any of it if I had to figure it out all on my own, like DaVinci Resolve and stuff.
There's a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I remember my first video that I made on Limelight. I spent, I think, 12 hours, 12 to 13 hours editing my first video with Resolve and barely scratched the surface.
Same, same. Oh, I think it was longer because I completely screwed it up a couple times. Oh my God.
But now,
And that's when yeah.
I was gonna say, now every time I edit another video, I try to learn something new. Like I don't want to get too far in detail, but I've been messing around with the Fusion page a little bit, which is probably the steepest learning curve on Resolve, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I have just, yeah, touched that a little bit. Only like with a tutorial. I haven't done anything freestyle. So I want to say something about how we're a team of equals and why that makes us different. Um,
Say
on
the
top of just,
line.
yeah, yeah.
What
Hold
do
on.
you
So hold on. Okay, so
say the line? God.
because I want people to understand, I want them to have like a mental image of what it is we're doing here. And it's like, okay, we're content creators, okay, we're doing Minecraft. What is so special about that? Like there's lots of SMPs, there's lots of SMPs that have content creators, and there's also lots of content creator SMPs like us that's only content creators. I'm sure we can all think of a couple examples. It's
Yeah.
there is something that's different and special about Limelight, and I think Omni can best testify to what makes our concept different. Omni, that's your cue. Go for it.
well, well, I was thinking about the best way to say it. Kind of put me on the spot here.
Well, like what? So, what made you want to start an SMP, and what was like that special concept that? What were like the ideals that you started out with? What was the vision that
okay.
you had?
Well, as far as starting an SMP, that's actually the last thing I wanted to do. I wanted to
Hmm,
find an SMP to play on. I didn't want to have to start an SMP.
that's hard.
And I looked for a really, really long time, and it was like you just can't find one. It just seemed like for what I was looking for, either it wasn't there or I just wasn't finding it.
Mm,
And I don't know. Most, obviously anybody doing this sort of thing is inspired by Hermitcraft in the same way that they
mhm,
were inspired by Minecraft. Um, we just want to have a team of people or a group of people that we can just all play the game together. I mean, Minecraft is just way more fun with friends.
100%.
tend to get really, really bored of solo worlds after I've done the sort of mid-level, mid-game stuff. After I've gotten fully geared up and kind of on my way for things to be easy and automated. It's like, okay, what else is there? And the thing you want to do is like show people and make things that people can interact with. Again, I really like making mini games, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? Make a mini game in a solo world? Play by yourself? I don't know. It's just weird.
Don't make a 2-player game.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, that's sort of how it started. Was yeah, don't be surprised if you see me one day playing 1 player, and then later logging out and coming back. Okay, I'm 2-player now. But no, that's kind of how it started. Was just looking for a community, and I was looking for something that was admittedly, Hermitcraft like. I wanted something where everybody was serious about it. It wasn't just, they say they make content on the server and there's, 20 people and maybe 4 of them do. I ran into a lot of servers like that. Or where they say they're all equals and everybody's, got an equal say, and then, the admin restarts the server without even telling anybody about it. And it's just like, deal with it, different things like that. I don't know.
Why were you looking for a community of equals? Like, why was that so high on your list? Might sound like a stupid question, but
I think for the content creation to work and for people to be like free enough to do what they want to do, you kind of need that. Like if I set forth a bunch of parameters and say, okay, we're all going to play Minecraft together, but you need to play it this way because this is how I set it up. It's going to be really hard to find people who want to play in that way. Minecraft's all about, the thing that makes it so great is you can kind of play it however you want.
Yeah.
So it's another good part, like you said, about our community is we have lots of different types of players. And I don't know, I think for any one person to be running the thing, it's just like they might as well have a solo world where it's just their world, right? Because anybody else is going to get bored of that. I know I do. And not having any kind of a say in what happens on the server, I found a lot of servers. I probably joined, I don't know, a dozen or so, maybe a little more.
Same.
And I found that like a lot of them were pay to play, even though they didn't really advertise as being pay to play.
Yeah.
Or they were, they'd advertise themselves as being Hermitcraft like you see pretty much every time Hermitcraft does a new season, you'll see that all over Reddit.
Yeah.
And then you get in and it's not like that. It's a traditionally structured pyramid type server with the owner at the top and a handful of admins under him, a few more moderators under them, and then you get to the actual player base under that. And I don't know, I don't like the separation. I didn't like the whole hierarchy of it. I didn't like the classism that's inherent in something like that. Like,
I think, but just
one of my favorite things to say is I don't want to feel different when the boss walks in the room. And if I'm the boss, I don't want anybody to feel different when I walk in the room.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it, because there are a lot of people that I'll get, myself included, you kind of get nervous when the boss walks in the room.
Some people get nervous when I walk in the room, but it's not because I'm the boss. Like Goofy.
It's very true.
That's
on my
bossy.
own merits.
It's very true.
It's not because you're the boss, it's just because you're bossy.
Yep. But I embrace that about myself. That's on me.
Great.
No, I really like the way you said that though, Omni, because I mean
I actually don't get nervous when my boss walks in. That's one of the things that my bosses liked about me when I first started my job, is that I don't act like that, And I saw that in other people though, when in servers, I would see that like when I would, like, for instance, we have 2 members on the server, Indy and Slappa. They were admins on one of the servers that I was a part of. And I didn't think anything about them coming around, they just seemed like other players, except they were like flying above us instead of walking up to us, they're just hovering in place. And I don't know. I saw
So,
other people when they would come around, like get hushed tones and like, oh, you know,
mm,
you need to be on your best behavior. The admins are here, and I don't know. I didn't want that. I wanted it to where like everybody was just friends, and we're just kind of coming together and playing Minecraft together. Some of the most fun I've had on here when I first started playing multiplayer was when it was like that. It was like a LAN game, and a friend would just start it up, and we'd all hop in. And you know, of course, when they are done for the evening, it's over. But
yeah.
that's kind of what we're trying to cultivate. Just that small time, small group of friends, really relaxed environment, atmosphere.
And
Well, I think
you,
part of yeah.
I was gonna say, you say a small group of friends, and that's interesting to me. That's something I wanted to talk
Taco about.
kind of taco about.
Well,
Haha.
there you go.
I didn't know any of you before we started on here. I know Omni, you said that you did know like Indian Slappa, Chili. I think you knew one or two members also, but I didn't know anybody. And within the short amount of time that I've been here, I'm completely comfortable calling everyone on here my friend now. We're all
Mm.
Oh yeah.
definitely willing to help each other, and we all got each other's backs when we need it. And I think that's what friendships and good communities are all about.
So I think that what makes the difference between like the hierarchy system and the kind of team of friends strategy is trust. Because if you've got an admin who has power over you, there's a power dynamic, you don't necessarily trust them to not abuse that power, or there's always that option kind of hanging over the relationship.
Yeah,
Whereas with a team of friends, you're all in the same boat. Like you all, there's no, yeah, just I think
Right.
it's easier to develop trust in a community of equals versus in a hierarchy system.
right.
Or it's definitely a shortcut. Like you can trust your boss, but at the same time they're always going to be your boss.
Yeah, sometimes,
Right.
in that system, that hierarchy system, it almost feels like you're walking on eggshells. I
Mm.
better not do this, or they might do this to me. They might ban me or something like that.
Right.
Whereas now you only have to make
I
Chili
mean
mad to get banned.
I mean, we have banned people, and this wasn't just me, but so like there are limits to that trust,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
We'll
if you violate
For
the
sure.
trust of the community, then yeah,
we'll
not
get
to get
into
too,
we'll get into some of that
yeah,
in a later episode, I think.
yeah.
Omni, how about the recruiting process? Let's talk about that a little bit. How did you go
Um,
about that? What were your ideas when you started the recruiting process? I mean,
so
How are you planning to weed out the weirdos?
weed out the
okay.
weirdos.
It worked terribly. We're all here.
Yeah. So again, just sticking back to that main theme of trying to give it that small server feel in a big server environment, or what could potentially be that. I just wanted to think like, what would I want if I was joining a server? What what restrictions would I want in place for myself and for the other people there? Because there's got to be some. It can't just be
Yeah.
absolute chaos. We're not trying to start an anarchy server here, right?
Yeah.
And so I wrote out a list, and it was, I don't know, 10 or 12 things long. And then I started like grouping things in the list and then condensing the list
Mm.
down and taking out things that I thought were like common sense. And then I had sort of an epiphany like, hey, we don't need, rules 3 through 9 right here because they're all covered in the terms of service, both on Discord and through
Mm,
Mojang or Microsoft.
mm,
So it's like that's a redundancy. So really the only things that are specific to what I'm trying to do here are these 3 things. And it boiled down to three rules really. You got to be an adult because we don't, it's just easier when everybody's at least
Of
18 years old.
Yeah.
I thought about doing 21 just for the maturity factor, but then I know 31-year-olds that aren't very mature, so I figure we just go with 18.
Very
And
true.
so that just weeds out all the children, and that's also going to weed out a lot of people who aren't necessarily serious about content creation. They just want to
Yeah.
play
I get
Minecraft.
school.
I've
Yeah.
run into that a lot. Then the next rule is that you have to be making content. I didn't want it to be one of those things where we get a group of content creators and then, oh, can my buddy join? And oh, can my girlfriend join? And like my wife also plays, can she be on? And
Mm,
I didn't want it to be like, okay, half of us are making content and the other half are just
yeah.
knows somebody who's on the server. I wanted everybody here to be making content because again, I think that's what sets Hermitcraft apart, and that's what set
Mm,
Minecraft before them apart. And then the last thing was just Wheaton's Law. Don't be a dick. Be a
yep.
good server member, basically.
Yeah.
Just the common sense of just like, don't, golden rule sort of thing.
Treat
Don't do
others how
anything
you
that
want
you
to be
wouldn't want
treated.
somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Respect
Don't do
others,
something on
respect
the server that
yourself.
you wouldn't want somebody doing to you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that boiling it down to a simple set of a very few rules that are
Yeah.
easy to remember and easy to follow makes it to where not only is everybody on the same page, but it's like right when you first hear that. I mean, what were your thoughts? If I can switch the
Mm.
roles here, Chili, what did you think when you first heard like, oh, this is all? These are the only 3 rules? Like, how's this gonna work?
I was a little skeptical, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical as to how that could be interpreted by each member. Like, who's to say, like, what's a dick move and what's not? Like, but at the same time, I got in on the ground floor. I mean, this is kind of an important factor. I wasn't joining something that was already established, and I was having to learn the culture of something that had already been started. I came in and was able to kind of shape it as it was developing as much as anyone else, but that kind of it's nice to have a hand in something directly, and it makes you have more ownership and more of a connection to it. So I was happy that it was new. And I got to meet everyone as they were coming in. Um, yeah, the trust is a really big thing for me on a server, especially as a woman. It's not always easy out there in the jungle of the internet. Um, so I did my interview, and you gave me a really good impression, and you also showed a ton of faith in me, or just I think you would have done this for anyone, not like me personally, but I said that on my server I only started feeling comfortable when I was holding the ban hammer, and within minutes you gave me ban permissions, and that was such a nice gesture of trust that it made me want to reciprocate. And so that was probably the thing that was most significant to me.
Yeah, that's
Taco? Yeah.
that's something that I learned early on is if you want to trust somebody, if you want to find
Mhm.
out whether or not you can trust somebody, the fastest way but to do it is just to trust them. Like,
Yep.
give them the opportunity to break that trust because that's the only way
Yep.
you're going to find out. And so that's just kind of the approach that I've taken. And it should be noted for the audience that Chili was the very first applicant to Limelight SMP. So
Like
she
10
definitely
minutes.
wasn't coming. She wasn't coming into anything. Yeah, we posted
Yeah.
a an ad on Reddit, and within like 5 or 10 minutes, she had responded to it, and we had her in a voice call doing an interview. So
Yeah.
she definitely got it on the ground floor of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taco, what did you think? How many people were in when you started? And
Oh,
what were your
I
first impressions about you just having 3 simple rules?
so I started later, and I was actually Chili and I were just talking about this. I was one of the last few
Yeah.
to join. Um,
Yeah. Feels
and
weird.
I don't know. So I thought I guess I was a little opposite. I kind of thought that the three simple rules were better, and
Mm.
I was kind of the same thing as you, Omni. I thought, I went back and forth about trying to find a server that I wanted to play on or trying to start my own server, but like I came across Limelight on Reddit and it was like, oh my god, this checks every box. This is exactly what I'm looking for and the exact type of server I would want to make for myself if I do. And so I applied, and within minutes, actually, Chili, it was your ad that you put up. Within minutes, you'd responded and said, "Do you have time for a voice interview, like right now?" And I was like, yeah, But so I was super nervous, actually. I applied, and I think I told you this story too. I applied, and you responded back with something along the lines of, "Your application is outstanding. I'm going to tell you now you're going to be accepted, but we have to do the interview because we have to do it with everybody." So
Yeah.
I hopped on a Discord call with you two and I think it was 7 other people. I think there was 9 people in my interview.
Really?
Yeah. And by the end of it, I was in tears because I was laughing so hard. And like immediately I kind of felt a connection to everybody, and it was, I'm getting beat up over here. These guys are kicking my butt.
So
It's
strong.
good. Distract them.
But yeah, I felt a connection right away. You guys, the way that everybody joked around, had fun. I guess an array of different types of people as far as play style and how they wanted to, or how they were conducting themselves on the server. So yeah, I liked it. But then, as far as to touch on the 3 simple rules thing again, I live by some of those rules, like the Wheaton's Law you mentioned, just don't be a dick. Just treat other people how you want to be treated. That's the best way to live life. I don't like it when somebody's a dick to me. Why am I going to be that way to somebody else,
Yeah.
So.
You say that like some people do, but...
What?
You said it like, well, I don't like it when people do that, as if some people do like that. And you're just like, that's just a personal preference of mine. Like, some people are fine with it.
Some people are into that.
Me.
So yeah, that's my story behind getting into Limelight. But I'm happy, I found a home. I found a group of friends and, people that I can start to call family. I'm here to stay, like it or not. So deal with it.
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah.
But I think the server is so different though from those early days. Like now that we've all had time to get to know each other more, and we've like, I don't know, we've like seen some shit. Like we've like been through some just not even just like
some
not
kinks.
like good or bad, just like we've just had time together, and people have been, gaining followers and learning new stuff about their content, trying new platforms. Just been getting to know each other better. We've done a bunch of face reveals recently, which was touching. Not everyone, and like Taco, you're one of the few that doesn't want to show their face, and that's totally fine. But
You'll never know.
It's still, yeah, man of mystery, the Taco of mystery. But it was a very touching way of getting to know people a little bit better.
It was, and I think it was a huge trust factor, like,
yeah, absolutely,
everybody kind of showing their face, saying it was a message saying, I trust you guys enough to know what I look like.
Yeah.
So sorry, I trust you guys. I trust you guys. I'm just a very private person.
Yeah, that's okay. No, you like share your personality in a different way, like not like you're not showing trust or like not letting us get to know you.
Where did our cow go?
It's directly above the top of the pyramid.
Why would you put it there?
Because that's where you need it. I'm inside the monument.
What?
Are you getting sponges?
Yeah,
How do you get sponges?
They're just in there.
you just grab them.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. So yeah, the early days though, you'd mentioned that a little bit, Chili. Like I said, I came in much later than everybody else, so I don't have as much experience with the early days, but I've heard some stories. Either you guys care to touch on that topic at all?
Really?
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm running away from Guardians. I think there was it was a lot of chaos, and I had so many sounds. There were a lot of growing pains with figuring out how we wanted to run the server as equals, because we did have quote unquote admins for a while. Which wasn't the end goal, but as we were adding these new people, and getting to know them, there's just a natural, not like suspicion or like skepticism, but like you don't know that person as well. You don't want to just like automatically give them console access. So it started off just kind of a group of people who had console access because they were help setting up the technical side of the server. But as we got to know people better, we kept adding more and more people to the admin group, quote unquote admin group. And it became kind of this like, kind of secret group on the server that was kind of not secret, because by the end, there were more people in the group than not in the group. So the big turning point for the server for me has been dissolving that group entirely and actually dropping that veil entirely. And yes, there are only certain people who have console access, but all of the decisions on the direction of the server, Omni,
Yep.
those are genuinely all made as equals now. And that was something that you said in the recruiting process to every single person. What was the thing you told everybody?
So I made sure every single member heard this, and it became a sort of an inside joke that I said it the same way every time. But I wanted everybody to hear it the same way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I just made sure to tell every single person that there wasn't any sort of probationary period when you join, and every new member. What I would always say is, like in an interview, I'd say you, as the newest member, have uh, just as much say in the direction of the server as I do, the founding member. And
There it is.
I totally agree with you that dissolving the admin role fully and getting rid of
Yeah.
that, I think really finally exemplifies that what we're trying to do. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's going to be people with console access and people without, but I mean, pretty much anybody who wants console access can have it. That's just so,
Yeah.
if there's anything wrong with the server and somebody needs to restart it or whatever, they don't have to wait on me to get off work or wake up or whatever to do it.
Yeah. It's just more about like who knows what to do.
Yeah,
Another
a big
thing on that console access, I'm really happy that like we have people all over the globe, so it's kind of nice that we have people with console access in multiple different time zones spread out throughout the globe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, if something goes down in a United States evening or nighttime, somebody in Europe is able to go and fix that, because it's more than likely early morning or daytime there.
Not yet. Not yet. That's actually the worst time because it's like 4 a.m. I guess like really early morning for you guys.
One big distinction that I wanted to make, though, that I think not a lot of people think about. You don't really need to start thinking about this sort of thing, until you're making a server of your own. But I think if you ask just a common Minecraft player, hey, have you ever joined a server? Sure, yeah. What's the difference between a mod and an admin? They're gonna go,
Yeah.
I don't know. And so I just started thinking about, well, what do the words mean? Moderation and administration. So what I wanted was a server that, yeah, might have some admins, but didn't need any mods. We need
Yeah.
people to help administrate the server, but nobody to moderate the server. The server should moderate itself. And that's something that I said in all of the interviews as well, is that it should self-moderate. That's a big deal. And that's another big reason why I wanted everybody to be an adult.
Definitely. Being able to talk to each other as adults is pretty crucial to the survival of the server, of being able to maintain that trust and communication. You have to have the maturity to enter into difficult conversations, even when it's an uncomfortable topic. So
I personally, I've struggled with that a lot in my life, and I think that I still continue to struggle with that, but it's gotten easier being in a community like this,
yeah, I think pretty much, I mean, everyone on the server is really supportive. Like anyone who has opened up about something that they struggle with, like be it content or literally building something in Minecraft, or yeah, like more of a personal like communication style thing, or just any real life stuff. They've only been met with support and
Open arms.
like yeah.
Yeah. And I think a big part of that is each person knows that if they were on the other end of that conversation, that's what they'd be met with.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Ami, you get all the credit for that. Like you've walked the walk.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It just clicked with me, and I think I've said this to both of you before, but it's always been like, Omni, you're the dad, and Chili, you're the mom, and everyone else on this server is like, your children, and you guys are fantastic parents. I just wanted to say that. It just clicked in my head right now.
That's so sweet.
Oh my God.
Can you be like, can I be like the cool aunt or something?
No, because
like,
the cool aunt
sister?
never lays down the law when the law needs to be laid, and
That's true.
you're more than willing to lay down that law when it needs to be laid down.
That's true. Oh, I'm blushing now thinking about the infamous Goofy interview.
I'm just gonna say like it. I'm just gonna take it like you're like how they would say in like rap culture, like I'm sonning all of you, rather than saying like you're calling me your dad.
Yeah.
It's weird enough when Goofy does it with the age difference, but when you're only like 3 years, you're only like 3 years younger than me, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I do get what you mean. There has to be, I don't know, it's weird. It's not like a leadership role. I don't think of myself as the leader of Limelight. I mean, yeah, I did start it, but I don't think of myself as like, I mean, the owner is just a default role. I'm just de facto the owner. I don't know. This isn't a server. I mean, both of you know this, obviously, from playing on it. But for the audience, this isn't a server that you would join and then wake up one day and there's something completely different because the owner decided it was going to be different.
No.
Unless it's me messing with Discord, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah, that changes weekly.
Yeah. You can guarantee every single time Discord comes out with an update, our server is going to change. They introduce threads, the server looks completely different. They introduce forums, I can't even navigate the server anymore.
Forums are so cool, guys.
And it always happens right when it feels like, okay, there hasn't been any new channels lately. Nothing, I can pretty well tell what's going on. I kind of know my way around. And then all of a sudden I get a notification from Discord. Hey, we're introducing this new feature. I'm like,
no. But to circle back around to like what we said in the intro, I think that's also learning curve for us. You know,
Yeah.
how
Sure.
do we want the Discord set up in the future, you know? And I think
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
a lot of us have said right now, you know, this is season 1, but is it really, or is it more like season 0?
Oh
It
yeah.
is. It has been more of a season 0, and mainly because we don't have anything set in stone. There's no real rules, like particularly on the Minecraft server. That's another thing that, like, I don't know. It's hard to get the default server type out of people's heads when they join. Like, for instance, I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn to tell this story. We had an event and Silver Slushy missed it, and
Mm,
she came to me later and was asking permission to throw her own event. And I'm
mm.
like, I don't know. Who do we ask? That was literally my response. Like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Who should we ask?
As the owner.
She's like, right,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And she's like, well, you're the owner. I'm asking you. I was like, I don't know. Or like, I don't know how to give you
Yeah.
permission to do that. Like,
Yeah.
do whatever you want. And I think that just having that like
Yeah.
spirit about the server has made it to where, like you said, when somebody does actually have a real life problem or a real life issue that they feel comfortable bringing up because, you know, hey guys, I'm uncomfortable when you talk about this or that, or please don't mention this or that about me or
Yeah.
whatever. Everybody is just, oh, okay, sorry, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that was a touchy subject, and then we just move forward, and it's never been an issue past that. I don't think. Have we ever
No.
had somebody bring up something that's touchy like that, and then someone not be, um, what's the word?
Okay with it.
Responsive. Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
accommodating.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that everyone that's on the server now has always been respectful
Yeah,
and
definitely.
responsive.
Yeah.
We can put it that way.
Yeah, and we have had some issues. We've had some bickering. We could call back to the Great Banner War.
Ooh, that might have been
Banner
before
War.
me.
What's the
Huh?
Banner War?
Are you serious?
That was before me for sure.
What? Well, maybe we have
No,
two words for the same thing. What you talking about?
I'm not talking about in-game banners. I'm talking about the Discord banner.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then Goofy let his server boost fall off, so we don't even have the
Yeah,
option to do a banner
yeah.
anymore.
Uh,
Taco, do you have any
yeah.
idea what we're talking
I
about?
don't. I don't.
Were
Okay,
you there when
so
we had a
once
Discord
once
banner?
once
Yeah.
you get enough server boosts, you can have like the custom image for your background banner,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And when we first got that, Chili, of course, seeing a new feature on Discord, went like went like head first, you know, diving into the shallow end head first. I'm gonna make a banner. And she made one that was really cool, you know. I thought it was good, but she even said, hey, this can just be a placeholder. We can try other things, you know. And then
Yeah.
Slush, she made one and put it up. And it was like, hey, this is really cool. We liked it. Well, then Chili goes to playing around and makes an even better one and puts it up. And then that was the first actual like disagreement on the server between the two between the two of them about what banner should be used.
It was more like just I don't know if it was the way that I did it or we didn't talk about it enough, but basically, I mean, the whole interaction was her saying that she didn't really like the way I went about it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to step on your toes." And then it was literally fine. Like that's the extent of
Yeah,
bickering on
I
Limelight.
think why she was upset is because we kind of asked her to do it, ask her to
Oh
make
yeah,
one, and then
yeah.
she put a lot of time into it and made it, and then it was up for
Mhm.
like 4 days, and then you put a different one up.
No, it was up for longer. It was up for longer. But yes, but I agree. It was up for longer, I promise. It was like
But
at
yeah,
minimum 2 weeks. Minimum.
you could tell it was such a small issue though, because when I bring it up, you didn't even know what I was talking about. That's how
Yeah, yeah,
insignificant it really was.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I
Uh,
said, I think it was
Very
before my time, honestly.
yeah,
could be.
yeah. I think by the time you got on, we'd already lost the server banner. Thank God.
Oh,
So
Sorry, I got off topic there.
that's okay. Oh,
that was a good
oh no.
chili.
I did done die.
What happened?
I don't
I
know.
died.
I don't even see your stuff. Where were you?
In the water. Get it?
Oh, it just hasn't floated back up yet.
Oh,
Okay.
are you over there? Are you good? You got your stuff?
Wow, I really exploded. I think so.
That's going in no context.
Oh no. Oh, I had my armor on. That's no bueno. Yeah, so what do we have on the docket with Limelight SMP? Like we've gone into where we've been, what we've been up to, how things started, and yeah, what's next?
So personally for me, it's going to be finally just settling into a place because I have been a bit of a nomad on the server and been way more focused on like back end server side stuff and helping people with other projects and things like that. I haven't really done much of my own.
Mhm.
The one project that I did do has been pranked and changed so many times. I've spent a lot of time repairing that.
Now it's a Halloween
So yeah,
decoration.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which she did ask permission to do that and said that she would
Yeah.
fix it herself. Any other time it's glitched out and the letters have gone orange. I've had to fix it myself, but I've got a lot of orange glass. Um, you know what
Seriously.
you know what I thought about doing? We got to cut this part. Anyway, we can cut that part.
Sure.
But yeah, for me, that's what's coming up next is just I'm just trying to settle in. I'm gonna get a bunch of farms built. That's my next episode is actually just gonna be me speed running a bunch of different farms and popping up like who made the farm or if it was one of my own and getting started at least on a base.
Hmm.
Perfect. Chili, how about you? What's next for you?
I have so many contract kills to go through with. Like, I am just up to my ears in murder. It,
I wouldn't know anything about that.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, I
Yeah.
have to make good on my promise.
What?
I told you that if anybody put a hit out on me, I'm putting traps all over the server.
Oh, that's awkward. Because did you see the message in Discord about how that was not personal that I attempted to murder you?
Oh no, I heard you say, I'm sorry, I've got a contract while you were trying to kill me.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
So
my
just
fault.
expect every time you log in, get ready.
Well, she fulfilled her
Especially,
contract on me.
especially
Yes,
with skulk
finally.
sensors now, between skulk sensors and the
Oh, fuck, but
pufferfish player detectors.
that was a
Yeah.
second contract.
There's been 2 contracts on me?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Hey, Chili,
Why?
I,
Yeah.
as soon as I left last night, I thought, man, if Crystal hadn't given me that head, she could have filled that contract and I never would have even known because I would have just volunteered it.
Wait, what?
So when you and I were going to switch, you let me
Yeah.
kill you, right? And I was going to do the
Yeah.
same. And Crystal's like, no, wait, I've got one. I'll be right back. And he ran and got my head and brought it back. I was going to just let you kill me and take it. So
Oh,
we could
that would
switch. You could have filled the contract and I never would have even known there was a contract out on
honestly,
me.
like I'm too nice and I didn't even think of that.
Oh
That would
no,
have been so
so you were
convenient.
gonna still try to kill me again after that even
Well, yeah, I just did not even think of that because I was because you were like trusting me.
Yeah, well, that's out the door.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. But it's
So what
not my
about you,
fault.
Taco?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's
Uh,
coming up?
I gotta finish my minigame. As you know, you two obviously know, I made a grave mistake and accidentally deleted all of Minecraft a few weeks back, a couple months ago now, I guess, and along with it, all my schematics and my single player worlds and everything. So thank goodness I had enough built on the server that I at least had like the foundation. I could take a new schematic of the first 30% of it, and then I
Yeah.
just had to rebuild that. But yeah, hopefully I'll have that done by Christmas, and then we'll have a nice game to be playing around the holidays.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then for next episode, we've got the Goofy himself signed up to be our special guest.
The famous Goof.
Yep. In the blocky flesh.
In the blocky flesh.
Sounds really gross.
Yeah.
Okay, so next time we will be answering listener questions
Where can
from the public Discord. Dakota, where can you find that?
where can you ask us a question?
We're going to put a link in the description to our public Limelight server where you can ask us questions in the Behind the Lime channel. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a forum channel. That would be so great.
Well, maybe it'll start out as a regular channel, and in 2 days it'll change to a forum.
Yeah.
That's more
Unless-
on brand.
Unless Discord comes out with another feature.
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming out with activities. They're coming out with activities, guys.
Oh no.
Congratulations, Chili. You've just leveled up.
Oh, don't even get us started.
Oh my god.
That's
That, you know what? We're gonna talk about that next time.
Yep, that's a goofy conversation.
And when Discord
Yeah.
politics get mixed
Yeah.
up in Minecraft.
Definitely. Yeah, so I think we'll call this a wrap.
Yeah.
We'll pick up only 2 deaths. Chili, twice. But that's pretty good. I expected more today. These Guardians usually mess
tally.
me up.
We should have a tally every episode. How many deaths while recording.
That's pretty good. But yeah, we'll pick up this studio build here too next episode. Start getting the grid and draining it. I'll teach Chili how to do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But hey,
Sounds good.
thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully you stuck with it for the length. This was a little bit longer episode than we were originally anticipating, I think. But it's our
Oh, yeah,
pilot.
we're gonna-
It's our pilot, you know.
It's our test run.
Test run. We got to give you guys all the background of the server. So,
Cool.
but yeah, Chili. Anything else?
Omni, thank you so much for joining us and being our very first and most honored guest on the podcast.
Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you very much. And I promise
Yep.
I won't call you Dad too often.
No, it was a pleasure doing it. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how the podcast comes together, guys. It's a great idea.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See you next
for
time.
Episode 1.